Miss Keitt with us today. And like I said, she's going to go over You Are Not Alone for us, and I will just hand it over to you. So thanks for joining us.
Yes, finding healing through connection. Where are some of the resources in your community? I love, love, love that they put local churches. I know faith is very important to a lot of people, not to everyone, but faith, spirituality, local churches, different denominations, different faith, different styles, they're out there because we're all different. We all have different personalities and experiences, but churches is a great way to tap into help and support. And there's a lot of resources within a spiritual community. Uh, Community center programs a lot of times will throw free events as well, just trying to get that social connection. Counseling, outreach programs, there's transportation programs. So there's a lot, and volunteering too. I know that's on the list. Volunteering, I will always recommend too, because it's a great way to get out of the house. It's a great way to do something you enjoy. It's a great way to meet people that also enjoy the same things as you. Sometimes it is difficult to find the right place, I know, but it's out there. This one is important, y'all. Don't wait. Don't wait. If you see something, say something. If you see someone struggling, if you think someone is struggling, say something. I always say embrace the awkward. Life is awkward. And sometimes it is awkward to ask someone, hey, are you okay? Are you feeling depressed? I'm worried. I usually start there. I'm worried. I might be wrong. I'm worried. But being able to be mindful, and I'm speaking as a child, as a daughter, and again, just thinking about my mama and seeing her struggle with a life transition and being worried. And I know I'm a therapist, and it's easier for me to just throw out mental health and throw out conversations and questions about depression and anxiety. I do understand that, and I'm going to continue to do it because I want to help other people know. Throw it out there, ask the questions. I would much rather be awkward. I would much rather be shut down than to worry that I didn't say anything. So don't wait to seek help. Don't wait to ask for help. Don't wait to ask if someone needs help as well. And being able to be mindful to prepare for it as well. You might have a parent that is going to retire in 10 years. Let's plant these seeds now and just water the seeds, percolate on them, just to be mindful of life transitions, to be mindful even about our own timelines, no matter how old you are, and understanding how we can set ourselves up to succeed in life, to process through life transitions the best way we can. All right. Resources, crisis lines, 988 is the crisis line. 911 is for emergencies, physical emergencies, 988 emotional emergencies. That is the crisis line. You can call it, you can text it, 988. And actually, I just read a statistic that I believe it was the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. They are seeing 988 being used more and suicidal attempts lowering just a little because of 988. So it is working. It is 24/7. They are available 365 or 366 during a leap year. You can also text 741-741. I think you can text 988 as well. So 988 you can call or text, and then you can be specific with the elder care locator with senior services nationwide. There's local mental health organizations. The National Association of Mental Illness is the NAMI, NAMI. There's mental health centers. And again, tapping into, I mean, I would assume churches, spiritual communities, senior citizen community centers will also have a list of these resources. Um, and then online resources to find support in your community. So if you want to take a picture of any of these slides, if you would like these slides sent to you, I'm sure we can definitely do that. And again, knowing you're not alone. I want to go back to logic and emotion. Okay. I'm going to go to like these positive affirmations. So even this big headline right here, you are not alone. Um, it's so easy to know it and not feel it. Still say it though. Still remind yourself, I am not alone. I can get through this. There are resources out there. Hope is powerful. Is powerful. It is important that we are diligent with hope, that we can create hope, that we can remember hope. You don't always have to feel it to know it to be true. You are not alone. We got this together. Let's keep talking about it. Let's keep planting seeds. Let's keep watering those seeds. Let's keep our eyes open. Let's keep pulling ourselves to the present moment to be mindful of who is around us. How can we help them? How can we help ourselves in order to help them better? And so reach out, ask for help. Let me just like throw everything else out there. And yeah, I think that is it. So, questions, comments,
I think
concerns?
that was so amazing.
I
Yes.
have no idea how long it was. I didn't even set. I'm sorry if it was way too long, but
No, you're so good. And I think one of the things, while we're still on too, that like one of the questions that we had and a comment somebody had too was that, how you were talking about your mom, going down and like doing bingo, and stuff too. I think for a lot of people also just one of the questions, and I'll kind of answer it for half a second, but then just to kind of get your take too, is that, somebody asked, like, are there, I guess, like senior centers sometimes in the different areas, or even some of the little smaller towns and stuff like that, like
mm,
connecting to senior centers because they might have like little chair yoga days, or they might have different things. Or somebody had asked too about like, would just for people getting out and about and doing stuff like, would like the silver sneakers at some of the YMCA's or some of the different places like that be good, potentially. But like, yeah, things like that. So somebody was asking, I just saw a couple different comments people had said about that. But are there, yeah, other kind of places like that, like the bingo stuff? That's a good idea. But are there other things like that that you can think of, that would maybe be good for people to check into, or families? I mean, obviously like church stuff. And I know also at the senior centers, they sometimes too will provide like lunches, for free for seniors at the senior centers. So that's kind of a good, like, get out of the house, especially the middle of the day when you're kind of feeling that lull and, kind of isolated. Sometimes like that can be like a good thing. But, obviously like making sure you have
yeah,
transportation is good.
yeah.
But yeah, is there any other things like that that you can think of? Somebody had asked. I don't know.
I yes. I think
Woo!
you bring up a great point with rural areas because there's more resources in a bigger city, of course, right?
Mhm.
And so when you think about rural areas, it is, I mean, it's really important we do remind ourselves of those individuals and the need there as well. Um, yes, senior centers, I would say too, I'll throw out like nursing homes, and I know there's pros and cons and a lot of um, barriers to that as well. But I know that they may even invite the community in to do like game nights or whatever. There is also, I need to look up the website, but I have also had clients and other people. There's like coloring sheets that you can color and then you send to this non for profit. And then they like pass them out to senior citizen communities. And I think they do veterans and something out, like hospitals as well. But that the senior community is in there. Um, and so even where my mind goes is if you live in a rural area, wherever you live, being mindful. I remember in high school, my show choir would would perform at a nursing home. When I was in dance, we would dance at a nursing home. So even for the other side of, you know, when you're younger, if you're a parent, being mindful of the opportunities to go and support the senior citizen community, if it's dancing, if it's just sitting there, if it's coloring, if it's playing a game with people. But organizations, yeah, I want to say tapping into the local churches, tapping into the local schools, um, and even maybe seeing if they can do something. I mean, there's a lot of volunteer organizations everywhere, but especially the school systems, high schools. I mean, middle schools too, and elementary schools, but even getting the elementary schools to color these pages, to just, you know, again, little things can bring hope. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That is so cool. And that's such a great idea. And I didn't even think about the color pages. Um, but
I
yeah,
I'll
but that's
send you the
cool.
link
Yeah, if
because
you send me the thing, that'd be cool because we could post it. But the other thing too, I thought about too when you were saying about the schools is that a lot of the schools, even like high schools, middle schools, they have like different plays that they put on and different things like that too, that they have like discounted senior tickets for, or, different little performances and stuff like that. That could be neat too for people to engage with. That could be kind of cool, you know?
yeah, yes, yes.
Like
And
it.
you know, I mean, technology can definitely be a pain, but I know being able to utilize technology, and I know there's organizations out there that are specific to helping um, more of the elderly community understand technology or get technology set up for them in order to Zoom, you know, and in order to, if they can't leave their home, they can at least possibly come to like an online group. Um, you know, and or even have it set up for them where they just click a button and then, you know, they can at least see someone's face or hear something. So
Mhm.
I will have to, I know I was told about something like that.
Yeah. Well, and we have also too within our organization, we have again part of like grant funding access that we have. We have grant funding for friendly visits, as well as family caregiver support stuff. So we can, do those like, on the phone. We can do those in
Oh, yes.
person. We have a lot if we're totally for free, for the clients. So we can,
Amazing. Mhm.
yeah. So we can, yeah, we can support people with that, which is really kind of cool and fun. So,
Yeah. Sometimes we forget the basic things. And I always go back to, I had a professor talk about how she always wanted to change the world and it seemed so overwhelming. And then it hit her that you change the world one person at a time and
mm,
like one thing at a time. And I always go back to that when wanting to change the world and mental health and suicide prevention. And I always go to one thing at a time. And especially talking about depression and talking about how we can best support people,
mhm.
like one thing at a time. So coloring a picture and sending it off, calling your loved ones who may be feeling lonely. It You don't have to fix them. You don't have to fix all their issues. Just check in, you know, like start
Mhm.
there. Because it can be very overwhelming and then we can feel like we can't do anything. And so being able to kind of challenge ourselves too and knowing, okay, one thing at a time, one
Mhm.
one thing at a time can help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. Yeah, because especially, sometimes for people, especially that get depressed and things like that, when you start again, kind of going down that path, right? That kind of like slippery slope, if you will. Yeah, it's like I like how you talked about the being proactive, and it's like, okay, well, what kind of things can we put in place? What kind of like rituals, or like every Wednesday, yeah, you go play bingo, and every Sunday after church, you go to lunch with these people or whatever it is, but just
Yeah.
getting stuff like on your calendar and just
Yeah.
ritualistically like just kind of put in place ahead of time, is good. Or every, Tuesday your friend Mary comes over and eats dinner with you, and you guys play cards or whatever it is, or you watch a show together on, that you guys like to watch on TV or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, just having those things scheduled, I think sometimes also too can be good, because then it gives them something to look forward to. Also,
Yeah.
like somebody had made a, like, I guess a question, or comment about what about like the KC halls or like VFW halls and stuff like that, especially for
Ooh.
like places like that, right? Or sometimes
Yeah.
like the Shriners halls, or different places like that, because sometimes, like, right, because they have bingo, or
Mhm.
sometimes they have like country line dancing, or not necessarily that people could always do that, but like, yeah, but they
Yeah.
have different programs, right, at some of those
Yeah.
places. I didn't think about that.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And um, that's a
Mm.
great point. That's a great, great point. I know I'm thinking about my community because I know the VFW, a lot of them will do bingo. Sometimes bingo is so long though. Sheesh.
Yes.
Oh, libraries. Libraries put on
Oh,
uh
yeah.
they have a lot of support. And I forget that a lot of times. And I'm like, well, how do I forget that? Yes, libraries do a lot of great support and put on a lot of different events as well throughout the community. Um, and I wonder if hospitals do too.
Oh, you know what though? Yeah, they do. Sometimes that is a really good point, because like, and they do like really good like education little classes or little fairs. So they'll have like a, cardiovascular, like a heart fair thing, or
Yeah.
like a heart talk, or again like um moving, retaining your mobility with arthritis. And they'll maybe do like a 3 week session on, again, like, I don't know why I keep coming back to chair yoga, but, on chair yoga for like, how do you keep your body moving, that one of their physical therapists, might do like for free. So that's good. Look at you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Right?
I
Teamwork.
know.
Teamwork.
I know. Two brains. We got this. Yeah. No. um,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, that's a really great idea too, that I would not have thought of. Yeah,
Hmm.
because I definitely feel like yeah, the hospital systems, and even like, again, like checking with doctors' offices and their,
Yeah.
specialty providers. Maybe it's like the lung, the pulmonary doctor, or again, like their rheumatologist, the arthritis people. But yeah, talking to them too, to see what ideas, or even support groups too. Ooh, that's a good one too. Ooh, yes. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
support groups. There's a lot of really great support groups, honestly, for all kinds of different conditions out there, even, like
Yeah.
Parkinson's, or
Yeah.
um all kinds of different ones.
And I'll
So
also
that could be cool too.
throw out checking Facebook, checking social media, but I know even as a caretaker, there's groups for caretakers, and even if you are struggling with something, there's probably a group on Facebook. So being able
Oh,
to
yeah.
utilize social media, um, it's an option. It's not going to click with everyone, but it is an option. But there's so much out there, so being able to use it to your advantage, but being mindful of the biggest risk factor of social media is going down like a spiral of negativity. So being
Hmm.
mindful what you do follow, who you follow, like,
Right.
and being able to kind of shape what you see. But I know Facebook has so many different, I mean, you could just Google like difficulty with this medication. There's probably like so many groups, or difficulty with this, or depressed seniors in my area, like, so there's so
Hmm.
many there are so many other people that struggle with similar things. So figuring out, yeah, where can we all connect? How to tap into knowing you're not alone.
Hmm. I love that. And I just did an education video the other day on like food, and like nourishing the body and the soul. And to the you're not alone part, one of the things that I had thought about, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, is about like having the family like together, or I guess, somebody again could do like with, their neighbors, or again, like two other ladies from church. And I think the family idea is cool. And I'll explain more in a second, because you get like the multi-generational aspect to this part, but for like meal prepping together. So how
Yeah.
cool would it be, like on Sundays or whatever, right? You like go to your little grocery shopping, or your shopping, or you go to your little farmer's market, whatever you do with the family, and then you can get all the ingredients also to make grandma's potato salad, and this person's, Aunt May's casserole, or whatever it all is that you're doing, right?
Yes.
And then, or maybe like the guys like barbecue the meat, and make the special barbecue sauce or whatever. But anyway, but then everybody like together, like just cooks all the, you cook all the stuff for, especially for a senior, for the week together. And then you can do like your regular Sunday. Remember, like a long time ago, everybody used to sit down and do Sunday dinner together, like everybody, like all at the same table, right? Whoever
Yep.
was in town available and whatever, everybody would come over to whoever's house, and maybe you rotated around houses, but then you do like Sunday dinner together as a family. But yeah, but then that would be so cool, because then you could like eat some of this stuff. But how cool would it be, again, because I think that's just kind of like a lost art, right? Everybody like cooking together. And again, it's like grandma being able to share with the, 8-year-old, 20-year-old, whatever, like this is how I make my pie crust, and being able to do that. But again, yeah, just kind of getting everybody involved. But I think also too, it'd be so cool for, friends, or again, different, people out in the community, friends at church or whatever, even
Yeah.
like in your assisted living place. Like a lot of times, people have their own little kitchens, or the place has, like you might have your own little kitchenette kind of area in your room, but then a lot of times some of these places will actually have like an actual kitchen, full kitchen, and or like dining, like big, kind of like dining room area, if you will, attached to that you can use. So you can have all your family come there, and, or again, like a couple different people that live there, everybody meet down there once a week, and get all your food, and you cook all this stuff together. But it'd be cool to be able not not just share some recipes and, yummy stuff and ideas for how to prep stuff, like from a one family,
Yeah.
dynamic. But if you have a bunch of different families,
Yeah.
you could share all the types of recipes and
Yeah.
all the fun stuff.
Yep.
And really
Yes.
get it going, right? Like, yeah.
Well,
But
and I remember
that's kind of
visiting
cool.
my great Aunt Dorothy when she lived in a nursing facility, and we would go and we would have lunch with her, and there was a cafeteria. So I
Yeah,
think just the concept as well of create the time,
yeah,
put your phone
yeah,
down, create the time, because ultimately what you're talking about is that quality time together. But then passing down these generational things, which is so fulfilling as well. But it all comes down to make the time, plan it.
hmm. Well, even, and I thought about this too while you were talking as well. Just, basic daily life tasks, like again, like cooking, or even like shopping with somebody, or like even doing laundry, because like at some of these places, right? Like, yeah,
Yep.
like you take your
Yes.
laundry down, and then, sometimes people will like sit there and do a puzzle, while they're waiting for their laundry, and then they switch it and whatever they do. But even, yeah, like scheduling that with somebody else could be really cool as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a neat idea.
Yes.
Love
And
it.
even I've seen some videos with getting your hair done. I love getting my hair. I
Oh,
love getting done up and getting my hair done. And I know there's a lot of even like hairstylists or like yeah, hairstylists in the community that might even do like a wash and a cut for the elderly community for like a discounted price. So even, getting out of the house and feeling pampered, or if they can come to a nursing home and do that. So that might also be a resource too to look into in different communities.
yeah,
And I just thought of that because I have seen some videos about that.
yeah. Or like, yeah, or having them go get their little nails painted, or their little toes painted, or,
Yes.
toes trimmed, and,
Yeah.
toenails trimmed, and all the things too. Yeah, that's a great idea too.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, but
So
I love that. And, and I think, well, like what we were talking about, scheduling aspect too. I mean, even for all of us younger people, also, it's like life can sometimes like get so
yes.
busy that unless if it's like on your calendar, like it doesn't happen, but as you get older, um, unfortunately, and for a lot of these people, especially like, seniors as they age, like they start losing more and more and more and more people in their life,
Uh,
because they pass, their friends pass, other family members pass, their sister passes, whatever. And so they just don't have that support social structure around them always
yeah.
like they used to. And I know like my grandma used to say, one of my grandmas used to say that, like one of the hardest parts of aging and getting older that she said I didn't realize, I never would have anticipated or thought of that was going to be, a challenge or something that I was actually going to have to purposefully put in the effort and try at is making new friends, and as an older
Great point.
person. And she said, as dumb as that sounds, she's like, it's a little tricky, because especially for older people, like everybody kind of gets set in their ways, sometimes, and they get set in their patterns, or again, they just become a total like, hermit homebody, and they kind of like isolate and things like that. And so, she's like, yeah, you wouldn't think about that, but she's like, yeah, you start losing a lot of people around you. That was like that's like the social event, for the week sometimes, unfortunately, for some of these people is like going to funerals and, or going to the celebration of life stuff or doing the
Yeah.
potluck stuff at the church after that, or helping put together the food. Maybe you're on the potluck committee for putting together the food and helping to serve the food, at these kind of events, at churches and stuff like that. But yeah, and she's like, it's she's like, we just I never thought about like, okay, how do I make friends as an older person? And again,
Yeah.
just getting that stuff though, she said, like on the calendar with some of these people just to make sure that you're also pulling them out of their comfort zone, but helping to get these other people too to like commit to
Yeah.
doing stuff with you is key, because she's like, yeah, if you don't schedule it, like it doesn't happen.
It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Or even, well, like what we do though, like going and like watching a play, or going and like watching a little like, an orchestra band somewhere or something like that, is really cool. Even like outside, not now because it's gross and disgusting in St. Louis right
I
now,
know.
but
I know.
not
But
now, but in the fall or in the spring or any other time of the year. Yeah, like being able to go, yeah, just enjoy even like some outdoor concert stuff. Like even like the botanical gardens has
I,
like really
mhm.
cool options for that. But there's, yeah, a lot of options, yeah, around town and stuff like that. The parks like have different musicians, or even at some of the assisted living places and stuff as well,
Yeah.
or independent living places, etc. They'll have different little bands come in, or to your point, like how little dancing group would come in, or different people like
Yeah.
that, just to entertain. But yeah, but trying to find people that have some of the same like similar hobbies or interests
Yeah.
as you, and just, yeah, trying to, yeah,
Make
see
the
what's
time.
available
Yeah.
and make the time. Yeah, I think is key. So yeah, I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us as always.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that you can think of that you want to add that we didn't cover?
Oh my gosh. How much time do we have? I'm sure I can think of something.
I know, right?
I do. I think I tried to throw out as much as I can. And you were saying something, and I definitely had thought of, I was going to say something back and it's gone now. But ultimately, I think we've covered a lot. And really, again, it's about starting that conversation and just being mindful. I think really challenging ourselves because, yeah, life gets really hectic and busy. Challenging ourselves to take these moments, like taking like a mindfulness moment every day of like, hold on, what do I need? Where can I go? Who do I need to check in on? And just, you know,
Mhm.
you know, 'cause, you know, life gets really hectic and busy. Challenging ourselves to take these moments, like taking like a mindfulness moment every day of like, hold on, what do I need? Where can I go? Who do I need to check in on? And just, you know, there's lots of times, even again, it doesn't matter your age, like to this day, like, gosh, I don't think I've called my bestie in a couple of weeks just because like I get off work and I'm exhausted and I don't have time before work. And then during my breaks, like I'm doing other things that sometimes it's like, no, I'm in the car, I'm gonna call. So just making time, even if it's a little bit of time. So again, kind of going back to that concept of do the basics, do what you can, but go to the basics with anything in life. Even getting out of bed in the morning is an accomplishment, brushing your teeth but going to the basics and just trying to put in the effort to help ourselves and to help others.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we could probably go down many different
Yeah, but
different
even
styles of good.
like with that, like for myself, even like you were talking about, just being mindful to check in on people and stuff like that. I like if I have a thought that pops in my head, oh yeah, I need to do this, or I need to call that person, or I need to check in on them, or like I know this person, I talked to them last week, they're having surgery on Monday. I'll put it
Mhm.
on my calendar, to check in with
Yes.
them on Wednesday, like,
Mhm.
or I'll put a little, yeah, again, I'll put a little calendar
Yeah.
appointment like in my phone, or
Yeah.
I'll set an alarm, that literally is like 2 p.m. today, call dad, or whatever.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
smart.
I
Yep.
remember
Yeah.
those kind of things, which is
That's
key.
actually real. I might steal the alarm one because I do know with the iPhone, and you can like send it, you can plan to send a text at a certain amount of a
Oh,
certain time
yes.
and day if they have an
Yes.
app too.
I do that. Yes, I do that. I do that. I do that with. Well, that's interesting. I do that like with like employees and stuff like that, or like work people, because especially for people that well, and it's great even for older people too. For people that have like time boundaries, right? Or it's like they go to bed at 7:30 at night or 8 o'clock at night, or earlier, or whatever in the evening, and you're up later, but then you have the thought and you're like, oh, I need to check in on this. So I'll
Yes.
send it, I'll schedule send
Yeah.
the actual text message to be sent tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you can send it, a week out or whenever you're going to send it,
Yeah.
like happy birthday or whatever it is. But again, it allows you to be able, yeah, to still be engaged. And you can, obviously, yeah, do that with emails and stuff like that too. You can schedule send stuff, which is, gotta love technology nowadays,
I
right?
know. I know. It's just knowing the
So
resources
cool.
and how to utilize them to our advantage. So,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
mhm.
And yeah, and we will look forward to hanging out with you next time.
Sounds
So
great.
awesome. Thanks, Kit. Again, I'm Jen with Aging Advantage. And so let's just kind of go through really quick again, who we are. So we are a non-for-profit organization here in the St. Louis area that supports seniors and disabled adults. And really, like through local grants and donations, we offer these kind of educational programs. And we're able to partner with incredible experts like Kit to be able to help all of you with the effects of post-pandemic situations and even some of the post-tornado situations, etc. But helping you guys to understand more about like housing and food and security or isolation prevention and things like that. And through those partnerships, like with again the educational people like Kit that we're able to partner with, we can provide these different topics to really help you all again just